Hello, and thank you for joining us. It was a dramatic day for the markets as Wall Street reacted with fear and pessimism to the Trump administration's sweeping new tariffs. Take a look at these numbers. The Dow fell 1,600 points in a single trading day. The Nasdaq fell nearly 6%, and the S&P 500 down almost 5%. Wednesday was the first time investors got a look at the size and scope of these tariffs. Nearly every country the U.S. trades with will face new import taxes. A baseline 10% tariff takes effect Saturday. On April 9th, the U.S. will put an additional tariff on the so-called worst offenders. 25% tariff on foreign-made cars also went into effect overnight. President Trump traveled to southern Florida Thursday. He plans to attend the Saudi-backed Live Golf tournament this weekend at his golf club near Miami. As he left the White House, the president told reporters the losses would only be temporary.
The markets are going to boom. The stock is going to boom. The country is going to boom. And the rest of the world wants to see, is there any way they can make a deal? They've taken advantage of us for many, many years. You'll see how it's going to turn out. Our country's going to boom.
CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady is on set with me here in Studio 57. Senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang is following the president in Florida, and congressional correspondent Huey-Burns is following reaction on Capitol Hill. Kelly, let's start with you here. Can you put into perspective how historic today's losses are, or not historic?
Absolutely right, because any day where you see these big losses, it's like, okay, well, what does that really mean? A couple of percentage points? Look, the last time we saw bigger drops in a single day across the Dow, the Nasdaq, and the S&P 500 was in 2020. That was during COVID. And so that really puts in perspective how concerned investors are about this when you have to go back to that period of time. I want to hone in on the S&P 500 because we saw nearly $2 trillion in losses. About a half of that, $1 trillion of that, near that, came from 7 big tech stocks. So Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, or the ones that we call the Magnificent Seven, not so magnificent today. But I call that out because I know a lot of folks are saying, well, whatever, Wall Street, the 401k, right? That is often invested in funds that track the S&P 500, and tech drives so much of it. And let's remember, a lot of our tech products come from China, and that's why you saw such big losses there.
On CBS Morning's Thursday, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said that the economy is on an upward track. Let's watch.
We have about $5 trillion of committed investment to America. $5 trillion. That means people are going to start building factories right now. All shifts are going to be running hot across America now. You're going to see employment leaping starting today.
Is that what's happening? Because I was hearing that some businesses in certain industries were going to have to lay off workers.
Well, look, a couple of things can be true at the same time, because we are seeing a lot of companies, even before yesterday, announce those big investments. That is going to mean more American jobs. But we have heard from some industries that they are going to potentially have to lay off workers, maybe even temporarily.
Which ones?
Well, Stellantis, for one, announced that today, that they were going to temporarily lay off some workers. But I think what's really important is that we haven't seen the impact of these tariffs in the economic data. The stock market is not the economy, of course. We could see that bounce back next week, or maybe even tomorrow. But it's just that the soft data right now, how consumers feel, is not good. There's a lot of anxiety already. What happened yesterday is not going to help consumers feel better, and how they feel can impact how they spend.
All right, so let's talk auto tariffs. 25% tariffs on foreign-made vehicles and parts went into effect overnight. How is that industry reacting? You mentioned Stellantis.
Yeah, so kind of a couple of different reactions. Stellantis announced that they were going to lay off workers temporarily and that they would bring them back eventually as they sort of navigate the situation. Ford had a different reaction. They said, you know what? We see prices are going to go up. We're going to give everyone the employee discount until June 2nd. So if you're going to look at a Ford car, you're going to pay what employees would pay to buy a Ford car. And sort of that reveals a different strategy that, well, we don't want people not buying our cars, so we're going to try and get them in the door. Now, if you listen to the auto union head, Sean Fain, he loves this because more factories here is going to mean more American jobs ultimately. So I think the auto industry is just a really interesting dynamics of how there are different ways you can be dealing with these tariffs.
Before we let you go, we are also learning Amazon is interested in buying TikTok. What should we know there?
All right, well, the TikTok ban or sell deadline is Saturday.
Yes.
And We have confirmed that Amazon is interested. It's an 11th hour bid, so maybe not likely that they're going to be the ones. We do know that a number of other investor groups have also put in bids. But just quickly, Amazon, I mean, shopping and TikTok and content and being able to buy while influencers are telling you about some, apparel or whatever. There's a lot of synergies there. It could be an interesting one.
What's the strategy behind such a last-minute bid then?
I think there has just been such confusion about what's going on with TikTok that they decided to get in last second.
Okay. Kelly O'Grady, thank you. CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang is following the president in Florida and joins us now. Weijia, we heard the president say he thinks stocks are going to boom. So far, the opposite is happening. How is the White House responding?
Well, I mean, they have to respond publicly exactly how the boss is responding. And he all day, even though U.S. stocks have been plummeting, his optimism has been soaring. And it wasn't just when he was leaving the White House and talking to reporters. He also talked to reporters on the flight here on Air Force One, and he reiterated that message. He's using this analogy that, the situation in the U.S. with regard to our trading partners was like a sick patient. He says the operation has been done, and now we just have to wait for recovery and for thriving. And so he is confident that in the long run, this is going to make a difference. He did make some news, Lindsay, on that flight. He said that it will take about 1.5 years or 2 years for manufacturing to get up to speed. He also said that there is room for negotiation, even though earlier in the day his press secretary said, look, this is a national emergency. It's not a time for negotiation. So the president said if he's able to get something really good, of course, he's willing to, hear other countries out. He also said that every country has been calling the White House after his announcement yesterday.
Russia not included on the long list of countries facing new tariffs. What are you hearing about why that is?
It's not just Russia. It's also North Korea, Cuba, and Belarus. And the White House says these countries already have so many sanctions on them that there is no meaningful trade with them. So any tariffs wouldn't really have an impact. And so that is their explanation for why they weren't formally on the list, because the administration says we don't trade anything with them anyway.
Weijia Jiang, thank you. On Capitol Hill, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle continue to react to the Trump administration's new tariffs. Wednesday night, the Senate approved a resolution opposing tariffs on Canada. CBS News congressional correspondent Huey-Burns has the latest.
Lindsay, you can imagine there was a lot of reaction up here on Capitol Hill. Democrats unified against this, obviously, but there was a range of reaction from Republicans. You have some Republicans up here on Capitol Hill who are cheering on the president, are behind him 100% when it comes to his tariff policy. You have another group, a much smaller group of about 4 or so Republicans who don't like it at all and have actually been vocal about that, signing on to a Democratic proposal last night on the Senate floor to rein in the president's powers when it comes to imposing tariffs on Canada, which he did previously. Then you have another group of Republicans who are skeptical of the president's tariff policies, don't completely align with them, but are willing to give him the latitude, the benefit of the doubt, to be able to, in their words, negotiate with all of our trading partners to secure better deals for Americans. Now, you are largely seeing the Republican Party united behind the president and his proposal. Many lawmakers up here told us that this is what their constituents voted for. They voted for Donald Trump. They voted for his policies. And Trump has made very clear over the course of his campaign and even years and years before he came into public office that he believes tariffs are critical for the economy and has been talking about them for a long time, so it should be no surprise. However, where the rubber will meet the road is what this looks like back in their home districts and in their home states. And that is going to be a threshold that we just have to wait and see. If prices go higher for regular consumers, if this has an impact on particular markets, I'm thinking farming, industrial states, and the like, what does that do? Now, there are some proposals up here on Capitol Hill to exert some leverage. remember, Congress is the one that has the power, the authority, the jurisdiction over trade and tariff policy. But over many, many years before Trump, they have ceded that power to the executive branch and allowed the executive branch to make these decisions when it comes to tariffs. You're starting to see some interest up here in trying to claw that back a little bit. Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa joined with Democratic Senator Maria Cantwell of Washington, two big farming states, to put forward a proposal that would give Congress, well, I would say Congress has to approve of these tariff deals, has to have some kind of say here. We are going to have to wait and see whether that does get some buy-in, whether that makes it to the Senate floor, and whether it makes it through, it makes it to the House. That's a longer-term deal. But you are starting to see a little bit of that interest in trying to exert some authority here. But by and large, you have a Republican Party willing and ready to give the president deference to negotiate. We just have to wait and see what the impact of that will be on their constituents. Lindsay.
Caitlin Huey-Burns, thank you.